Hands, let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Drop it, put it down, put it down. Hey everybody, Aaron Cowan, Sage Dynamics, and this week we're taking a look at the TI Virtual Training System.
Hey,
get your hands up, get your hands up, get your hands up, get that hand up! Now, we all know when it comes to firearms training that there are some training artificialities, ways that we can't train as realistically as we'd like to. If you think about live fire, especially if you're restricted to using an indoor range, you have to stand in a stall, you probably can't draw from the holster, you have this convenient table in front of you where you can load your rounds and everything like that. The targets don't move, they're faced directly towards you, and if they do move, it's just forward and back. With Simunitions, another system out there, allows you to train a lot more realistically, but you are restricted in, let's just be honest, access to a Simunitions class. It can be cost prohibitive depending on where you're training at, and obviously you have to be able to locate a Simunitions instructor to take a Simunitions class. The TI system is another avenue you can explore if you have one available to you near you that allows you to train with a little bit higher degree of realism, and it's cost effective. It's not going to be as expensive necessarily as a Simunitions class or burning a couple $100s of live ammunition, and it gives you some great training value. It does have its artificialities just like Simunitions and just like live fire, but it does have some distinct advantages that we're going to talk about. Now, just like Simunitions, the TI system was primarily developed for law enforcement military, but you are seeing it now become more and more popular in the civilian world for private businesses that want to offer it to the general public. I'm at Liberty Guns, which is in Acworth, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta, so I have it accessible to me. Atlanta's 4 or 5 million people. If you live in a smaller or more rural area, you might not have access to the system, but I just wanted to do a video on it because it does have some significant advantages over just your standard range training, which we're going to talk about. Now, the rare times that I train on an indoor range, I become significantly aggravated. Mainly, the biggest thing that aggravates me is the inability to draw from the holster. The simple act of clearing my cover garment, purchasing my firearm, drawing at me, is verboten in most firearms ranges, most indoor ranges. And there's a reason for that, because they let people in off the street. You got to give your ID, you buy some ammo, you buy some targets, you go into a stall, and they just really have no idea of your level of training. Now, someone who's trained and someone who's more practiced goes into a range, they kind of roll their eyes at that there because they're like, this is just one of those things, like I can't stand this, I'm more experienced than that. The people at the range don't know that, and for liability purposes, they can't just assume that everyone has the same level of training or the same level of experience. TI system allows you to come in at any skill level and start experiencing some more realistic training avenues and train to a higher degree of realism, which is advantageous. Take those skill sets, practice them at home with dry fire, or go to a live fire range that allows free movement and reloading, drawn from concealment, drawn from holsters, things of that nature. Definitely advantageous, but the average shooter, especially people who live in the urban area, they just don't have ready access to systems like that. So if you have a TI system near you, the advantages are definitely there. Nope. Okay, don't keep your hands up. Do not step back. Step back. Step back. So for handguns, your options with the TI system are the NLT cert pistol. They use the IR only models, the ones that don't have the visible laser, so you can't cheat. You don't have an aiming assist. It's not like the system you're going to use if you're using it for dry fire practice or aiming practice, where it has 2 visible lasers or 1 visible laser. Your other option is a converted Glock, which is a CO2 powered system. It's got an internal mag counter, so it actually has a fire number of rounds. At some point, you'll run out of ammunition, slide a lock to the back, magazine ejects, goes back in. Recoil is close to realistic. Obviously, it's not going to be fully realistic because you're not firing a live ammunition, but it's close enough that most people are not going to be able to tell the difference, especially if you're used to carrying a 9mm. This is probably the most realistic system you can use with the TI training system. And just similar to the converted pistol, you have converted AR-15, functions just like a regular AR-15. No significant differences. You can run optics, you can run iron sights. It's got a laser emitter which registers the shot. It's a CO2 powered magazine just like the handgun. Goes in like that, and it gives you 30 rounds, and when you run out of ammunition, it lets you know, which is probably the only unrealistic part of the AR system just based on the design, is it's going to give you that really strange noise to let you know you're out of ammo versus locking back on an empty bolt. Now, of course, there are disadvantages. I think some of you may already keyed into it. The fact that I'm literally fighting threats on a projection screen. It's projected against a wall. The problem, obviously, with that is the video, the projection decides what happens in regards to movement. I can lean, but I can't actually see around a corner. I can assume a kneeling position, but my actual angle to my threat doesn't change. So that's definitely a huge artificiality with the system that you can't really work around yet. It's in the works. It's something that, you know, in future generations of this technology, we see it's going to get more and more realistic. But for right now, it does have some significant artificialities. But I think the advantages to the system definitely outweigh it, especially for someone who's never trained force on force. If you've never done a simulations class, and TI is as close as you're going to get to real life until you branch out into that system. Now, I'm not saying, and full disclosure, I am a simulations instructor. I do really value the training value in simulations, but there is value in TI that I can't get necessarily from simulations, because with TI I can replay an entire gunfight, see exactly what somebody did. Whereas with simulations, even though I can see the hits on my role player and hits on my good guy, I can't necessarily go play for play on where those misses went, necessarily where the sight picture was when the shot broke. I don't have that ability. So for me as an instructor, TI definitely gives me kind of like a coach's eye view to see how somebody's performing under, let's be honest, self-induced stress. And of course, from a strictly entertainment point of view, the TI system has, you can shoot steel plates, you can shoot the Bianchi Cup, you can shoot aliens, you can go up against zombies, even though that's still a thing. There's a lot of gaming avenues and gaming options, which for someone just getting into guns, maybe a little bit of video game action added to a little bit of realism will definitely promote them to start taking things more seriously. Or if you're already a really serious shooter and you just want to have fun, you definitely have that avenue.
Did you hear something?
Yeah.
Check it out.
Dude, don't go out there. You crazy.
I didn't hear anybody. Do you even go to the house?
Wow. TI system also has a controller terminal, so an instructor or whatever they want to call themselves can manage the computer system as you go through the scenarios on the screen, and they can control whether you get a shoot and no shoot. You can maximize reality, you can go low light. They have infrared flashlights which project an actual flashlight on the screen wherever you move it, which is super cool. It allows you to maximize your realistic training ability inside the restrictions of a virtual range. It's definitely beneficial, especially if you have someone running the scenario to give you those shoots, no shoots, demand you to use your verbal commands and skills like that. I know if I'm running the system and I have a student going through and they're not using good verbals, they're not checking the so-called corners, I'm going to make the scenario a little bit harder on them than if they're going through and using proper techniques, proper tactics. So that's definitely another advantage of the system, is they can control what you get, what you don't get.
Oh my god! They got your hair. My stupid ex-boyfriend has a bat and he's ready to attack me!
Where's he at? Where's he at?
Brittany! Brittany! Get your fucking ass back in this...
Hey, drop the bat! Drop the fucking bat right now! Put the bat down! I will fucking shoot you!
Alright, fuck. We was just having an argument, that's it. Hey! Give me the fucking money.
Put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down!
I said give me the fucking money. You think this is a joke? I said, give me the mother.
Now, just like any other training system, we already talked about the disadvantages, but I think the advantages definitely outweigh it. And one of the biggest advantages I can see is time. You can train a little bit more realistically, or maybe train in a way, practice in a way you've never done before, and it's very time and cost effective. Of course, obviously the problem being if you don't have a TI system near you, just like with simunitions, if you don't have a simunitions instructor near you, you've got to travel to take a class, which adds to the cost, which makes it cost prohibitive. If you have a TI system near you, if in the Atlanta area or the Georgia, if you've got to drive a little bit, Ackworth is a suburb of Atlanta. It's up here at Liberty Guns. That's definitely one place in the city that has it. If you're somewhere else, you can get online and just kind of Google TI training system, TI virtual training, and find a location that has a TI system or something like it that allows you to train this way. It can be a game or it can be as realistic as you want it to be. Now, obviously me, I'm self-defense focused, you guys know that, so for me, the gaming is going to be secondary, tertiary to the main intent of training a little bit more realistically and stepping outside of that stall lane that most people spend most of their time shooting in. Let's get a little bit more realistic. I'm Aaron Cowan with Sage Dynamics, train accordingly.